Hey guys, we're popping in here right now to talk mostly to you guys as kids. I hope you guys have been following along a little bit and you found some of the fun stuff on the website so that you can have some fun during PawFest as well. Here at my house, we do all kinds of training with the kids and the dogs. The kids and the dogs are always both involved as they both have to live in our house, and so therefore they have to get along. If they're not getting along, then we have some really big issues, and we really don't want to have that. So I'm hoping I can share some of you guys, or share some of this information with you guys about what to look for and how you guys know your dogs are happy or sad or scared or upset. So if we look at some of these pictures right here, you'll see the green arrows point to some stuff that tells me that these dogs are pretty happy. So if you've got a fast wagging tail, it's looking all excited, it's not stiff, it's nice and relaxed, and it's just wagging and being happy. If you've got a nice little tongue out that's waggling around and being silly, if you've got some ears that are just kind of hanging out, they're not standing up, they're not standing very still, they're just hanging out in your dog's head, that usually means that you've got a nice happy dog. Usually your dog is going to be bouncing around a little bit, or else they're just going to be laying down being silly like the guy on the bottom, but they're just kind of chill and relaxed. Now, if you look at my two yellow arrows, these two guys are getting a little bit nervous. So the guy on the top, if you look at his tongue, it's not hanging down all silly anymore. It's actually licking his nose and around his lips. We didn't give him any peanut butter, so he's not licking food off his lips. He's licking his nose because he's a little bit nervous and he's trying to calm down a little bit. If you look, his tail isn't wagging very much either. It's quite still down there by his bum, and he just looks a little bit more stiff. He's not as relaxed. The guy on the bottom in the middle, see that front paw that's picked up? That's a pretty good sign that your dog doesn't quite know what to do, and maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable. The fact that he's turning his head and his eyes look a little bit more white than they usually are is another sign. And I don't see this guy's tongue anywhere. He's just kind of a little nervous and holding his face all pretty stiff. The other thing that tells me he's a little upset is I'm going to look at this guy's tail. It's not up and hanging out like the rest of them. This guy's got his pulled down close to his bum, and he's kind of just a little nervous, as you can tell. Now, when we look over here at these red arrows, these guys are scared and they are upset. These are not dogs that we want to be hanging out with right now because they are not very happy. And if a not happy dog is around, it could lead to a very bad accident. So the guy on the top with the red arrow, he's got his teeth out. He's got his ears pulled back a little bit more than the rest. And take a look at that tail. It's not just hanging there, it's straight. It is stiff and it's not going too far and it's not moving very fast. He's also leaning quite a bit more forward than the rest. He's almost taking a bit of a fighting stance. Now the guy on the bottom with the red arrow is scared. He's got his body getting closer and closer to the ground. He's got his tail tucked as far underneath his bum as he can possibly tuck it. His ears are flat back beside his head. And look at how much white I can see in his eyes. The white in the eyes is always something to keep an eye out for. His mouth is also very, very tense. His mouth isn't relaxed. There is definitely no tongue coming out there. So the thing with these two guys right here with the red arrows, they're not ready to bite just yet, but they need some space. They need some space to be allowed to just calm down, They need some area to move around and start getting comfortable again. If we either stay where we are or get any closer to these guys, or if we move too quickly, it's going to be just too much for them and they just don't know what to do with themselves. And when that happens to a dog, a lot of time that's where we see our bites. So these are the guys we've got to be very, very careful with. So anytime you are coming to meet with a dog and you want to give them a treat, first of all, we always ask an adult, whether it's your mom or dad, another relative, or a complete stranger. We never ever give treats or food to a dog without first asking. So these have some really, really good tips in here. One, you're going to really, really carefully take it from the bag. You're not going to pull it out and, oh my goodness, we create a mess and everything goes flying and the dog gets all excited. Oh my goodness. We're going to really carefully take one of those little treats. We're going to wait till the dog's looking at us nicely, nice and calm. We're going to tell them how awesome they are. And when they say that they are ready for it, they're nice and calm, they're looking at you, you're going to hold your hand nice and flat, the same way you would feed a pony. You're going to hold it nice and flat. The dog can come in and take the treat as gently as they can. And if your hand's flat like that, the chance of them nibbling on your fingers drops a lot, okay? So make sure that you're relaxed, make sure the dog's relaxed, and again, make sure there's an adult close by. These are some kind of funny little drawings, but these are really good ways to remember not to greet a dog, especially a doggy you don't know. So if you lean over the top of a dog and you put your hand in their face and you make them scared, like the guy in the first picture with the red arrow, it's not always good. We don't want scared or confused dogs. If you lean over a doggy and you put your hand on top of their head, that's going to scare them too. Okay, we don't want to be pushing ourselves in front of them. We don't want to be pushing ourselves over top of them. And by the way, we really don't want to grab that dog, give them a big old hug, because what you're doing is bringing a scared dog really, really close to your body. We don't want to do that just yet, again, especially if we don't know these puppies. Another really, really good tip is to not stare them in the eyes, okay? Sometimes when doggies stare back and forth, that is a way of them kind of challenging one another, kind of saying, hey, what are you up to? They get a little bit suspicious. So we don't always stare a doggy right in the eyes, and we don't squeal and shout and run and jump, okay? It can also scare them. They don't like excitement as much as we do sometimes, and sometimes they just need to quietly say hi before they have a party. Again, this is another perfect example of not grabbing a dog and hugging them and kissing them and pulling them in close to you. They're really scared sometimes if somebody that they don't know does that. Think about it this way. If you had a stranger walk up to you on the street and suddenly lean over top of you and say, oh my God, look at you, and pet you on the head, or grab you and give you a big hug, or go, oh my God, you're so cute, it's going to scare you. So if we do that to a puppy, it's going to scare them too. So our next slide is actually the right way to say hi to a dog. If you simply let the dog come up to you, let them come up when they're comfortable rather than us running towards them. Don't stare at them, and just kind of stand with them coming to your side. That way they can do it all on their own and they can feel good about it. Once they're comfortable with you being close to them, sit down beside them, and just, if they're ready and if they stay close by you, reach out and pet the side of their face or their side of their body. That way, again, you're not making them scared. And if they walk away, let them walk away, because that's their way of saying, I'm not really cool with this yet. If they keep hanging out, keep petting them and see what happens. But these are some fantastic ways for you guys to learn exactly what dogs are saying to you And so you can meet as many dogs as you want in a good, safe, and really, really fun way for both you and the dog. So we'll just end with some really good ideas to remember. Always ask both the owner and the dog if you can pet the dog. When you ask an owner and the owner says, yes, that's okay, and you look at the dog and the dog runs away from you, we still can't chase them. So a lot of times I'll walk up and say, hi, puppy, can I pet you? Your mommy said it's okay. And if they're still hanging out and they still look pretty relaxed, that's when I'll pet the dog. Again, we talked about running away or running by the dogs. Some dogs get very, very, very excited and don't know what to do with themselves when they see people running, whether it's kids or dogs or anything. And that can get them a little bit out of control. We want to always make sure they're nice and relaxed. Always be gentle. We don't like when anybody pulls on our hair or pokes us or tickles us or pushes us around. So we should be the same with the dogs. We don't want to pull on their tails. We don't pull on their ears. We want to pet them nicely and gently, and that's how they feel good. If you ever see a dog eating or playing with a toy, please don't go up and take the dog's food or try and take the toy, because doggies really find those very, very valuable, favorite, awesome things. And sometimes if we try and take them away, the dogs can get a little bit upset. And we already talked about what happens when doggies get upset. And again, if your dog is just laying down, chilling in their own space, let's leave them there and let them relax. If we follow these kind of rules, whether it's with the dogs in our own house, at the house of our friends and family, or simply dogs that we meet at the street or at the store, this will help make life so much easier, happier, and more fun for both you and any dog you meet along the way. I hope this has helped out, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.